All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I've been messing around with some stuff on stream, so if anything looks weird or sounds weird, let me know. I hope I didn't break anything. How's it going, Dark Mage? You doing good? Sounds good to me. Nice, nice. Alright, today I'll be painting some Deathwing Terminators here. This guy I put a pretty good amount of work into. Most of the colors are just base coated and shaded, but the bone armor I put a good deal of time into the highlights as well, because this was kind of like my test model, and I'll kind of show you my previous Deathwing Terminators. So that you can kind of see the difference in my process here. So this one's like my old Deathwing Terminator compared to my new one. You'll see there's a lot more shading, a lot more volume to the newer method of painting. So that's why I took some time to flush this model out, because I wanted to make sure that it looked good. You're doing good? Nice, nice. That's good to hear. I'm doing good as well. But I have the rest of the squad here. Of course, one guy with a power sword and one guy with a plasma cannon, because these are Dark Angels, Deathwing Terminators. They have to have the sword and the plasma cannon. It's required. And all I've done here to spread some heresy? No. These are the loyalist kind of Dark Angels. Oh, you're here to spread heresy. That's right. I forgot. Yeah, all I've done with these guys so far is I did some shading with like XV88, and then I did some highlighting with the Screaming Skull here with the airbrush, just to get some nice volumes defined. And then I put a wash on it, Seraphim Sepia to be exact. It's not optional. It simply must have a sword. Exactly. The Dark Angels are the Knights of Caliban. So if they don't have a sword, like, what are they even doing? All right. Let's see here. Oh, also, Dark Mage, I put new options in for the channel points. They're having a good old nap, just like their dad, for real. A nice relaxing nap, actually, in stasis. But yeah, I added a bunch of new channel point rewards. So if you want to take a look, tell me what you think. Hopefully there are some that are interesting. I'm getting ready for chaos, but first, of course, I'm planning on. Yeah. That's a. Those are the yeah, must pay the tithe. The quotes for the tithes are from the Tithes TV show. I made sure to get some direct quotes. I'm also planning on adding a command for sacrifices to the dark gods. So that we can track how heretical or loyalist chat is. This counter will keep track for all of eternity. So we'll be able to build up tithes paid and sacrifices sacrificed? I'll have to figure out a better word for that. Depends how I feel when I get out of bed. Fair enough. All right. It's a little painting. Okay. Oh, I also put a varnish over top of this step because, well, I need to go in and do the undersuit and the vents and such. Very likely that I will be getting paint on the bone colored armor. So a quick layer of a varnish will help you be able to remove those mistakes with your brush without hurting the paint underneath. It's kind of like quick saving in video games. Put down a quick save before you do a boss fight. The painting the undersuit is a boss fight, so. We're going to use our very, very small size 1 brush. And some Black Templar's contrast paint. Mostly because going over the lighter color, the contrast paint can help us get some nice highlights for free. But then also it flows very easily off the brush, so you don't have to fight the paint to get it to flow over the undersuit, which makes it easier to paint on without making mistakes. We'll say, if you want to practice brush control, painting a black undersuit for your bone armor is a great way to practice brush control. Your mistakes are very prominent. Maybe also we need to come in with our trusty toothpick here. Went to go get a drink, nice. Always gotta stay hydrated. Today I have my water, I have a coffee. So we're playing that fun game of how many drinks can I have on my desk, and not drink my paint water, you know? On the hydration police. The trick is lids. Gotta put lids on the cups that you drink from. Guaranteed to drink paint water first. Yeah, this doesn't prevent me from drinking my paint water, but it does prevent me from cleaning my brushes in my drinks, you know? Which, like, you take what you can get, right? And I'm gonna put how. Drink a little bit more first. I'm gonna put this lid to the test. See how good the seal is. This is my. I got this mug. Maybe the seal isn't too good, but anyway, I got this mug from Adepticon. It's pretty cool. I mean, I can show it off more, but it's full of coffee, and apparently the seal is not preventing the coffee from coming out. Why do you have so many paints on your desk? All of these were water bottles at the start of the stream. That's tough. That's tough. This is going okay. As long as we maintain our level of focus, should make it through without too much issues. This part right here, though, is the worst. Bring it up so you can see it a little bit better. But there's like a little bit of the undersuit showing in between two big armor plates, the leg, and the belt. And you're just like, why, bro? Just cover it up. I don't even care how you cover it up. Got a little bit on the side there. Bring in the toothpick. Overall, though, it didn't go too bad. We take the dubs where we can get them. Can you ask how I use the XV88? I did it with the airbrush. If you you also can do the same thing with like if you just base coat the model with XV88 and then apply, like, come in with like Wraithbone primer from the top, that would get you a similar effect. And then yeah, I used I used the Seraphim Sepia shade to kind of blend the transition a little bit and make sure that, you know, all the crevices were nice and defined. So yeah, the shading on this model is partially the XV88's like undershade, and then also Seraphim Sepia. And I will be coming back in with, like, you know, some more highlights and also some more XV88. But it'll be a lot more controlled. So, for example, the XV88, I do a recess shade. So specifically only targeting the recesses. And a nice, careful highlight with like Screaming Skull and such. Yeah, you can kind of see on this model where we have some, you know, some highlights here. And then and then, you know, defining these, some of these harsher edges with XV88. Oops. The varnish step really stuck the arms on, which is a little bit silly. Like, break the arms off. But yeah, when I almost never. So when I'm applying like a shade over top a very like light color, a lot of times you want to dilute the shade a little bit. So I use Lamine medium for diluting shade paints. But you can also use like contrast medium, like that's fine. Super cool. I had my XV88 for some time. I don't think I ever opened it. Never knew what it was for. Yeah, it works really well for like shading lighter browns, because it's like a nice deep brown color, but it's not very dark. So specifically for like if you think like Tau, right? Like Tau have that light ochre armor color. XV88 is really good for that. Like, you know, I used it for this bone armor here. So yeah, there's a pretty good number of times where it's like, yeah, I want to shade my model with brown, but I don't want it to be too dark, right? Like something like Rhinox hide would be too dark. So we use something like XV88. It also doesn't have to be bone armor, right? Like, you can use XV88 as a base for just about any bone that you're painting. Doing something like, XV88 into Morghast bone into like Wraith bone or Screaming Skull is a pretty solid way to paint bone. It gets you a nice like deep bone color. Yeah, I'm going bone color for my Thousand Suns. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, bone can be hard to do because it's such a bright color, right? But yeah, it's pretty fun. Mostly you just flip the way you think about it, right? For example, most of the time when you're painting something, the process goes, you put down the base color, you do some highlights, some shading, right? For bone, because it's such a bright color, you focus a lot on shading and much less on highlighting. And of course, mistakes are amplified. Which makes it, just in general, harder to do. Uh-oh. Well, that's unfortunate. I ripped the whole magnet out of this guy's body. Oops. I'm going for a very dusty bone to try and lean into the Egyptian theme. Cool. Love that the paint job for Thousand Sons Robots was universally disliked. My brain went, that looks awesome. Yeah. On my 40k villain arc. Yeah, I don't know. It was like poorly received, but I'm also in the boat where I'm like, I thought they looked cool. So but I think the main thing is people don't like change. So anytime you make something that's different, people get mad. And it's like, what, you want things to stay the same forever? Like, you really don't want anything to change ever? It's a little sad. Come on, I believe in you. I know you got some super glue in there. Sure we don't get any super glue on the rest of our model. Uh-oh. We'll probably get a little bit of frosting there. Just with the amount of super glue that I put on. It's okay though. Now, very important that I throw that toothpick away. And I don't try and touch up my paint job with the super glue toothpick. Because that would be tragic. Actually had a slight rant yesterday because all I was hearing was World Eaters players are being super upset about Berserker and Angron changes. Yo, no faction was safe. Oh no. They're mad about like the rules changes? Or the model changes? Those models have been out for a bit, right? Like, years of pent-up 40k frustration. Yeah. It is a. It can be a fairly frustrating fan base to deal with sometimes. Again, mostly because there's a lot of people that are just so stuck in their ways that any change is like they just hate all changes. Made Angron slightly worse. Strength 4 to Strength 5. So they're slightly worse into like Marines and like Terminators. Or wait, are Terminators T6 now? Uh-oh. We're now showing how long it's been since I've actually played 40k. Oof. Hey, what's up? Kazmuruk? Kazmuruk? I'll just call you Kaz, if that works for you. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. But you can now take Berserkers in units of 10 or 20. Oh, that's cool. So slightly more of like a horde unit. Interesting. But yeah, what's going on, Kaz? How are things going for you? Do you have anything fun on your workbench? Oh, I'm getting black everywhere. No. Not like this. What are we looking at here? This guy's got much less. Much less black, because he's got a power sword instead of a. Power Fist. Nice. World Eaters definitely needed some changes. They were too strong. Yeah. I heard about that. And generally, Games Workshop is moving in the direction where they're like, you shouldn't be able to do too much damage turn one. Like, both in 40k and in Kill Team, they're like, we want to, because that, I mean, that's just not as fun, right? If you make it so that the outcome of the game is determined based on things that happen in the first turn, it's like you're kind of just taking away 4/5 of the game, right? My statement was met with the classic 10th edition sucks, 9th edition was better. Yo. Hey. The current edition is always bad, until they come out with a new edition. And then the last edition was the best edition they've ever had. No. I did that thing where there's some water on like the metal bit of the brush and it runs onto the model while I'm painting. Spreading paint everywhere. You love to see it. Hey, the world leaders do have. You're very excited for Thousand Suns? Nice. That's good to hear. I hate when that happens. Yeah. I mean, I really should just be paying more attention, but I was focusing too much on not getting paint on the you know, on the bone armor, and not enough on my paintbrush. Paying 2 ounces more of attention would have saved me from that fate, but apparently I didn't have that attention to give. There's really not a whole lot of green on this model, or on these models, which is a little bit sad. I like green. But I also really like the I like the way the army looks with like the contrast between the bright bone Terminators and the dark green Marines. Like, I think that looks nice. Attention.exe not found, exactly. Or like you open up Task Manager and it's like attention.exe not responding. You're like, oof. Gotta kill the process and start over. The Dark Angel's Heresy colors? I agree. I like the Dark Angel's Heresy colors as well. The black and red was cool with like the silver armor trim. Yeah, what I started doing with, though, because as I said before, I like green. Is I've been painting my Heresy Dark Angels with like dark teal armor. So it's almost black, but it's got that greenish tint, and it's got greenish highlights. So this is kind of the way I've been doing it, to like, because I like green. It's the short answer. And then like my Contemptor here looks like it's almost black, but it's like a little bit of green in there to kind of tint the black. The model makes me like green. Yo. Yeah, I basically did the same kind of process where like a lot of people use like grayish blues, right? Like they use like Dark Reaper and Thunderhawk blue, Fenrisian gray to highlight their black armor, or they use something like Black Templar, which is like it's basically just like a really dark blue. I took that same concept and just did green with it instead. Yeah, and it turned out really well. I'm really happy with how that turned out. The real question is, do I paint these side? Do I paint them red or green? Let's see what I did previously. The answer is red. And then I painted the one on the helmet green. Seems like I wasn't very consistent with my choices. Nice. I could just do that. Same kind of thing. Why not? But yeah, my Heresy Dark Angels were inspired by the lion the way they painted the 40K lion is it's a very similar kind of thing where it's a very dark green for his armor. And I really liked that, so I just kind of took that and applied it. I was like, you know what? My Heresy Dark Angels are gonna look like that. It's decided. Moving on to red here. Talking about old editions, I think people forget how crazy some rules were. You remember scatter dice? I do. I do remember scatter dice for deep striking and stuff. I used, let's see, I also remember, because I played the old world when it was out, like as a child. So like, I played like the Empire, and I had, you know, like the great cannons, where you would just like huck a cannonball, and it was like, where's it gonna bounce? Let's see. And you would roll the scatter dice. But yeah, and then deep striking in like Terminators and stuff, and you're like, all right, let's see where they end up. I mean, I thought that was interesting. Obviously, it doesn't make for a very competitive game, because, you know, the randomness that gets introduced is, you know, it makes everything less consistent. Which is tough for a competitive game, but it was definitely fun. Like, it was a lot of fun to be like, how many times is my cannonball gonna bounce, and in which direction will my cannonball bounce? Or like, oh no, my Terminator squad got they got deep striked into a building, and I lost one. Oops. Yeah, you pray you didn't land on terrain and die instantly? Yeah. But it made like drop pods a lot more useful, because the drop pod kind of like it made deep striking a lot more consistent. Like, it kind of gave it more of a place in the army. Drop pods don't have, like, in my opinion, they don't have as solid of a purpose in Space Marine armies right now. Which is interesting, because they just redid, homing beacons and stuff. Yeah, it made those kinds of things, like, a lot more important. Which I thought was cool. And like, if you didn't have one, you could still deep strike, it was just more dangerous. Like, flavorfully, I think it was a cool rule. Competitively, it's a nightmare. Imagine they made psychic attacks good again. Yeah. That'd be cool. Time to dust off Magnus, yeah. It definitely made things hard for, like, oh my god. A spider just dropped down onto my... Yo. Shit. Got it, bro. The Xenos are invading my workspace. Holy. Alright, we're good though. What's crazy is I can see my web. It like built a web on my streaming rig and then dropped down onto my workspace. That's crazy. But yeah, the nerf to psychic abilities was kind of tough for armies like Grey Knights and Thousand Suns with that like relied on it pretty heavily. Yo, stuck in my head. He really tried to Mission Impossible on you. He did. Bro thought he was doing something. Even Eldar and Dark Eldar could do psychic attacks, yeah. Yeah, but Eldar specifically, they have a lot more like buff debuff psychic abilities, which stuck around and were still very good. Which was nice. Like you're still bringing like your Farseer and stuff because the buffs that they hand out are just so good. Although I think they nerfed that a little bit too. Oh shoot. Forgot to do like the lenses on this guy. I really wish the upgrade sprues came with extra shoulder pads. Because, like, I got these really cool, like, Dark Angel shoulder pads, or Deathwing shoulder pads specifically. But it only comes with 10 of them. And so, like, I got the Leviathan Terminators because they were cheap, you know. But so now I just have like 5 Terminators that don't have the really cool shoulder pads, which is quite sad. Like, you couldn't have put like 6 or 7, you know. Like, what if I have a Terminator Captain that I want to make Deathwing? Like, they were like great, get you with the upgrades for. Yeah, it's like, nah. I just want more cool bits. Give me more. Let's see, what's the case on this? What's the case on a plasma cannon look like? That's a good chunk of the gun. I wish we had more Gravis models. Yeah, Gravis is also very cool and very limited. Is it the Gravis Captain with the really cool pose? I don't know. It's a good question. I don't really remember because I didn't get the Gravis Captain. I do remember the Gravis Captain looked really cool though. Like, I remember it looking at the model and being like, that's a nice captain. The captain with the master-crafted sword, yeah. Yeah, it's also hard to tell, like, differentiate Gravis armor from, like, the standard power armor. Which is a little bit frustrating for me. Because I'm like, I feel like it should be easier to tell. Like, you can tell the difference between Terminator armor and, you know, the regular power armor. But Gravis, you're like, is this just fancy power armor? Or is it Gravis? I don't know. Yeah, the pose is incredible, yeah. For a second, I was like, oh no, I didn't paint the last model's Stormbolter. That would be because he doesn't have a Stormbolter. He's got a plasma cannon. All good. Apparently my brain is working on, like, low power mode or something. Yo, what's up? Hydrate? Of course. What's the significance of that symbol? The one on the shoulder pad? I made the picture bigger and see that it's actually on the model. Yeah, so this is the Deathwing symbol. So it is specifically the first company of the Dark Angels. And it's a broken sword with wings. Thank you for paying your tithes to the Imperium. But yeah, so the Dark Angels are special in that every member of the first company has Terminator armor. This like bulkier, more protective armor. They all have it. And so they're actually so yeah, they have their own symbol, they have their own like leader. And they're called wings to kind of go along with the angel references, you know. But yeah, there's 3 different wings of the Dark Angels. There's the Deathwing, which is the Terminators with this symbol here. The Raven Wing, which is like their vehicles, but specifically they're fast vehicles. So large tanks and such are not Ravenwing, but like people on like bikes, so like motorcycles or like the land speeders and such, those are all part of the Ravenwing. They also have their own symbol. They also have their own paint scheme. They have black armor instead of the bone color or the green. And of course, they have their own company master that leads them. No. So yeah, it was. I was talking about this a little bit earlier, where I got these really cool shoulder pads that have the specific Deathwing symbol on the shoulder pad, which is really cool. But they didn't give enough. They didn't give me enough, so I don't. Not all my Terminators have it, which is sad. The rest I'll have to use like. I'll have to use transfers or something. Which is a bit tragic, because the transfers aren't nearly as cool as the symbol, like, actually being on the shoulder pad. But it'll have to do. And actually, I have the model here. This is Belial, the master of the Deathwing. So yeah, you can see Another tithe has been paid for sure. So you can see he's quite a bit cooler than like the other Deathwing Terminators. He's got a big ass cape, a bunch of cool iconography and such. He's got, this is called the Sword of, sorry, kind of moved him off screen. This is called the Sword of Silence that he has, I think. Yep, it's a relic of the chapter, so super duper fancy power sword. But yeah. Grandmaster of the Deathwing. Has one of the best looking capes as well. He does have a really nice cape. Which is fun. I like the cloth. The enormous capes with the hood is very Dark Angels, so I appreciate that. And the relic Stormbolter is sick. I love this thing. With the unnecessary strap, like, what is this strap gonna do? He's not putting it over his shoulder. This strap is not big enough for him to wear this, like, over his shoulder. It's just there for fun, which is like, you love to see it. Little details where you're like, that doesn't even make any sense. Perfect. You love it. All right. Hey, Sleepy? Would you mind changing the color of your name in chat? One-handing a Stormbolter is hands down one of the craziest things. Yeah, yeah. You see him like mounted on tanks, and then you see Terminators just like one-handing Stormbolters, and you're like, yo, these guys mean business. Oh, it didn't change. I'll have to figure that out later. He could have had it mounted on the gauntlet at the very least, but decided he's not about that. Yeah, he's like, I'll carry it. I should also just be better at reading the names in chat instead of using the color to identify chat members, but it's weird that it didn't change for me. Probably something to do with the way my streaming software is set up. Gotta use this Pro Acryl. Yeah, I know. And for me, it's like red. Like you're both like this orangish red color, which is confusing to me. But it's it's a different color. Maybe you just changed. We'll see. I'll look into it. At the end of the day, it's just a skill issue, right? I just need to get better at reading chat messages. Just unraveled one of Twitch's greatest secrets. Color is an illusion. Yo, what's up, Wolf? How's it going? What's your intro music, huh? If you got to pick a song that was your intro music, what would it be? Not just a question for Wolf. Anyone in chat? Maybe all of you. Oh no. A heretic has invaded the chat. And not the good kind like Dark Mage. Godzilla Sweet 2. Barbie Girl by Aqua. Yo. Yo. Timed out for 13,000 seconds. Nice. Thank you for handling that. Having some tech issues. It's okay, you got him in the end. Strong pick. Yeah, solid choices all around. What about you, Sleepy? What's your intro music? Everything is awesome from the Lego movie. That's a banger for sure. Nice. But yeah, so I'm currently using Monument Hobbies Dark Silver here. It's a really nice, well, dark silver for like base coating your silver metallics. It has really good coverage. Which again helps contribute to it being like a nice base coat color. You don't have to apply 1,000 layers or put like an undercoat of black on it to get it to look nice and dark. Because like Lead Belcher over like white or Wraithbone doesn't look as good. It turns into a much lighter color, and yeah, it just generally doesn't look as good. So if you're using something like Lead Belcher, then generally an undercoat of black works well. But that's, you know, extra steps that you don't need to take if you're using something like the Pro Acryl Dark Silver. Alright, bro's starting to look nice. And I'll actually take the time to finish off the base colors for this model here. I should have done this step with the... Oops. When I was doing the Black Templar before, but... Doing the Crux Terminatus... A little bit of Black Templar. Uh-oh. A little bit too much liquid there. I'm actually not going to paint the whole hilt because I will be doing some airbrushing for the sword. And I'm not a fan of duplicating work for no reason. Just gonna leave the top part of that's the sword hilt unpainted. All right. Pretty close to base coating this guy. I'm getting close to the end of my stream here. But my goal is to have all the base coats done by tomorrow. You can do a little bit more interesting work on these boys. Show kind of the highlighting process for the bone armor. Alright. Getting towards the end of my stream here. So I'm going to wrap it up for today. I will be streaming again tomorrow at the same time, where I'll be continuing to paint these, the Deathwing Terminators. If you can kind of see the difference between the two, you'll notice the one on the left is much brighter. So I'll be going in and adding highlights to the models, making sure I have everything, base coated for the rest of these guys. So yeah, hopefully I will see you all then. Thank you all for hanging out, and yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye.